You know, I didn't expect this at all. I recently jumped back into RoadCraft Rebuild Expansion DLC, and I've got to be honest, something is happening here. Low-key, RoadCraft is slowly taking on a new form, I think. The kind of form that makes you go, wait a second, is this turning into SnowRunner 2? Because what started as a fairly niche road building simulator is quietly evolving into something much bigger. And I think developers might finally be listening to what players actually want. Hello, TeleMenace here, and today we're diving deep into RoadCraft Rebuild Expansion DLC because I honestly think this might be the turning point for the whole game. It's slowly going from that weird road building spin-off to something that finally understands what fans of the genre been craving since day one. So let's talk about how RoadCraft might be quietly morphing into the next evolution of SnowRunner, even if that was never the plan. Let's start with the obvious. RoadCraft was always a bit of an odd one out. The name made sense at launch. It was about crafting roads, running convoys, paving paths through a rough terrain, hence the RoadCraft name. But for many of us, the novelty didn't last very long. Because let's be real, how long can pouring sand, laying tarmac, and flattening it over and over stay interesting? For a lot of players, the answer was not long. I mean, I only built mandatory stretches of road, the bare minimum to unlock the next objective, and then I went straight back to off-roading because that's where the fun really was. It's the same story as SnowRunner in a way. The name didn't really fit the full scope of what the game became either. It's not just about snow, it's about everything. And RoadCraft seems to be following the same path, outgrowing its original identity. Now, to be fair, the foundation of RoadCraft is genuinely solid. The engine is built on is incredible, the vehicle handling is refined, and the terrain tech is same as SnowRunner, if not even better. But for most people, the final product just didn't hit that sweet spot. It was too narrow, too repetitive, too samey. Still, underneath all of that, that's a great game trying to break through. And the Rebuild expansion feels like that's a first real glimpse of what the game could become. If you played Contamination or Washout, the two new maps in the Rebuild expansion, you probably noticed it too. They're different. Instead of just laying more asphalt, you're now restoring infrastructure. You're fixing railway tracks, just like we did in Wisconsin back in SnowRunner. Now you're clearing landslides, recovering boats, scouting more remote areas, and doing actual delivery work. The focus has shifted away from crafting perfect roads to exploration and logistics more, I feel like. And that's what we've been missing. That's what we really wanted deep down since the start. Sure, you still have to build a few roads here and there, but they're no longer the entire point of the experience. They're just one piece of a much bigger puzzle. Now, what gives me hope that this isn't just a one-off DLC experiment is the fact that the devs themselves came out and said they're taking more time to create a detailed roadmap for the future. That might sound small, but to me, it's massive. It means they're actively re-evaluating the direction of the game and they want to make sure it lines up with what the community actually wants. And the proof is in the features they've added lately: fuel management, gearboxes, two mechanics that instantly make the game more strategic, more SnowRunner-like. You suddenly have to think about whether to use all-wheel drive or diff lock. You start paying attention to what gear you're in and how much fuel that's burning. It's no longer a mindless grind, there's depth. Sure, some of it still feels half implemented, it's not perfectly polished yet, but it's a step in the right direction. It's the difference between playing a building game and playing a logistics sim. And then there's the map design itself. Both Contamination and Washout are filled with obstacles, fallen trees, collapsed bridges, broken pipes, stuff you actually have to clear before you can move through. So instead of building roads from scratch, you're now reclaiming the old ones, cleaning them up, fixing them up, making them usable again. Sounds familiar? Well, that's, if you ask me, is a pure SnowRunner DNA. And I have to say the tone and visuals of these maps are spot on. There are moments that straight up feel like you've gone back to the MudRunner days. grimy weather, foggy swamps, industrial ruins. It's a total vibe shift from the original feel of the base game. But here's the thing that made me laugh in a good way: bridge layers. Like, that's such a direct nod to what we always wanted in SnowRunner. Instead of spending an hour filling a ditch with sand, now you can just unfold the bridge and move on. It's like the devs are saying, yeah, we know you don't want to spend your whole evening pouring sand. You want to deliver stuff. And honestly, that small change says everything about where the design priorities are going. Less repetition, more momentum, more purpose. And if you look at the latest vehicle reveals, the direction becomes even clearer. 2 logging trucks are coming, and logging is one of the most fun, most dynamic mission types that RoadCraft had. It's challenging, it's satisfying, and it makes for great gameplay moments. And then there's an articulated scout vehicle with a small cargo bed, perfect for those smaller side delivery jobs or quick scouting missions. That alone screams we're leaning more into exploration. And even existing trucks are getting tweaks that align with that philosophy. The Taiga now has a crane, there's a new mule variant, even that hilariously long scout trailer combo. They know what we love, they know what we need. We want to haul, we want to recover, we want to explore, not just flat in the sand. So where does that leave the future of RoadCraft? If I had to bet, we're not going to see many more road building vehicles added. I think that era is done. Instead, I think the next updates will focus on delivery contracts, rescue missions, and construction logistics. Not so much paving, but actually restoring, transporting, and maintaining. Maybe we'll get proper recovery winch missions, maybe a big capacity fuel tanker finally, maybe even co-op convoy tasks where you coordinate deliveries between multiple players. If they double down on that side of the gameplay, RoadCraft could become a genuine bridge between SnowRunner and Expeditions. And you know what? I think the devs had the light bulb moment at some point. They realized that the hardcore fans, the ones who played Spin Tires, Mudrunner, SnowRunner, they weren't asking for a road building simulator. We wanted something that made us think, plan, adapt. We wanted moments where things go wrong, where the truck tips over, where you have to recover, improvise, and push through. And RoadCraft is finally starting to embrace that, I think. It's learning from its roots, and in the process, it's evolving into something that feels right. So yeah, that's my hot take. The rebuild expansion has completely changed how I see RoadCraft, and honestly, it's giving me hope. The game that started as a road paving simulator is quietly transforming into proper off-road logistics-driven experience. One that could stand proudly next to SnowRunner, Mudrunner, and Expeditions. But what do you guys think? Have you played the rebuild expansion yet? Do you agree with my theory that RoadCraft is slowly becoming more of a SnowRunner style game? And what do you want to see next? More road building, more deliveries, rescues, or recoveries? Let me know down in the comments. I always read your takes, and I'm really curious how you see this shift. If you enjoy this breakdown, if you enjoy this tinfoil hat theory, hit that like button. And if you're new here, maybe consider subscribing for more deep dives into the runner games. Thanks for watching. I'm TeleMenace, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.